Some people in the, let's say, alternative sphere seem to get kicks out of pointing out everything that's gone south in our modern society. They talk about chronic disease, stress, 5G radiation, geoengineering, lying leaders, top-down plots, a cabal pulling strings. And if we want to salvage our humanity, we need to escape, stop using technology, stop acquiescing to the evil ruling elite, move to cabins in the woods, grow our own food, and prepare for imminent collapse. These people so much want this modern society to be bad, to be detrimental for humanity. But even though I agree on many of the claims, I'm not sorry to say it's not that simple. It never is. It can't be said often enough, technology is not bad in and of itself. It's how we use it that matters, always. Techno-humanism is possible. Yes, it is. I mean, how do you think those calls for escaping modern society would be able to spread without modern technology? I don't think we're supposed to re-experience anything. We are exactly where we're supposed to be given the choices we've made, and there are always important lessons to be learned. The question is where we go from here and what we bring with us, what we take with us from here. But the preppers are right about one thing, which is also the crux of this video. Namely this, we must never forget the ancient universal knowledge about who we really are, what the essence of us really is, and our interconnectedness with the earth and the universe. We should never forget that. But that is not the same thing as renouncing every material achievement. Plumbing, washing machines, and microchips have been beneficial for our general development. We can be high-tech and spiritual at the same time, and we will. A recent trip to the United Kingdom inspired me to elaborate on this theme and to concretize some of my thoughts here. The British have been instrumental for the creation of our modern world, so I think it might be instructive to take a closer look at that culture. I have a feeling that the Brits, or the English rather, distanced themselves from the ancient knowledge about the essence of humanity. And that was why they were able to accomplish so many things that are seen as laudable in the material world, from inventing gadgets to amassing wealth to conquering land. Here's my take. The Celts and other peoples living on the British Isles millennia ago had an idea of who they essentially were. To them, and in their Druidic traditions, humans were an integral part of Gaia. Nature was sacred. Then came the Romans and began screwing things up. Then came the Anglo-Saxons, whose aristocracy continued the screwing up. Then came, briefly, Danish Vikings, not known for softness. And then the church, of course, did its part in the killing of ancient traditions. Now, interestingly enough, one remnant of Celtic culture not only survived, but became widely revered, namely the legend of King Arthur. But that aside, the connection to nature was now gone. Instead, an extraordinarily efficient, practical, decentralized, and hard-working culture developed, including the infamous English stiff upper lip attitude. And for a brilliant description of what that entails, or can entail, watch the film Living, whose screenplay was written by Nobel Prize-winning author Kazuo Ishiguro. This very matter-of-fact-oriented culture eventually led to the largest empire the world has seen. As we all know, that is already history. Perhaps the time has come for some contemplation. The traces of ancient wisdom are still there, perhaps in particular around the edges of Britain, where aspects of Celtic culture have survived. In Scotland, for instance.
So this is a very mysterious, magical, interesting
deeply feminine energy place called Dunino's Den, or Danino's Den, in Fife, eastern Scotland. It has been used by Celtic druids, as far as I understand. So they had it as a ceremonial place, and up on that little rock there's a well, or a round opening with water in it, and it was apparently used for some ceremonies there. And there are some carvings in some places in the rocks with typically Celtic features. And also lately, in modern times, people have put coins and stuff inside the cracks in the rock walls as offerings. And there are also ribbons hanging and other things hanging from the branches of the trees here. It's very lush and green, and it's unusual for this part of Scotland. This place actually is reminiscent of the another place I visited a couple of years ago in southern France, called the Devil's Chair, or actually the Isis Chair, with the same feel of a place in nature with replete with significance and a particular feminine vibe to it, feminine energy, enclosing a well, running water, places of worship. But also in Glastonbury, in the very heart of southern England. The Chalice Well in Glastonbury is allegedly located where right where two ley lines, the Michael and the Mary lines, interconnect. It is a beautiful and solemn place with strong energies. The well itself is unspectacular, but when I sat there in stillness, I could feel the force from within the earth herself, a feminine, embracing energy. The Glastonbury Tor, towering high above this flat Somerset landscape, can perhaps be seen as the masculine counterpart to the Chalice Well. So this is Glastonbury Tor, the tower overlooking the quirky ancient town of Glastonbury in southwestern England. This tower is from the 15th century, but it used to be a tower before that, or a church actually before that as well. And this place is said to have been a sacred place, a sacred hill, used for different types of ceremonies, rituals, probably for a long time. There's evidence for it being used in the 6th century at least, and probably much longer. So this town, Glastonbury, is full of ancient sacred places. The Glastonbury Abbey was extremely important in the early Christian era, and it is claimed to house the tomb of King Arthur and Guinevere. Some mystics say that the British Isles are in fact the heart chakra of Gaia, of our planet. Perhaps human activity was going on here tens of thousands of years ago. A sheet of ice periodically covered Scotland, Ireland, and northern England during the last ice age, but never the southern half of England. There was a land connection to the rest of Europe up until around 7000 BCE, before the North Sea formed. Arguably, of course, the most famous ancient site in England is Stonehenge on the Salisbury Plain. It's thought to be about 4,500 years old, judging from carbon dating of organic material at the site. The dating could be correct, naturally, but I haven't found compelling evidence that the megaliths could not have been there long before the dated organic material ended up on the site. It's the same situation as with Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, whose age has shaken official age even, has shaken the standard model of when civilization arose. But the thing is that we only know when it was buried or perhaps covered by soil. We don't know when it was actually built. That could have been the same time frame, of course, The soil could have been placed there at the same time as the megaliths were erected, but we can't be sure. Supposedly, people who built this, they managed to transport these enormous stones from a quarry in Wales, which is like, I don't know how many kilometers, maybe 300 kilometers away from here, or 200, on sledges, wooden sledges. I'm skeptical. What makes Stonehenge mysterious is not least how these enormous 25-ton stone blocks could have been transported from a quarry in Wales, 240 kilometers away, and put in place, considering, the limited hunter-gatherer technology that we basically know people had in this part of the world 4,500 years ago. Now, to make sense of the order of events that I'm talking about here, I posit that there may have been an earlier, more advanced civilization that was wiped out by cataclysm. So that has to be said for this to make sense, what I'm saying here. Avebury is another henge, some 30 kilometers north of Stonehenge. Even though it is the largest megalithic stone circle in the world, it is a much simpler structure. But even so, it's dated to the same time period as Stonehenge. Maybe Avebury's age is accurately assessed, and hunter-gatherers living here at that time tried to construct something as impressive as Stonehenge, but of course fell short. Just maybe. Could it be that Britain, or Avalon, to use a mythical name from the legend of King Arthur, is the land where we shall understand both what we essentially are and how far we once wandered away from our origins? If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to hit that like button and share the video with your friends. Please support the channel if you can. I appreciate all the support. You can become a Patreon for as little as $1 a month, or you can make a one-off donation via PayPal if you wish. All the links are in the description box below. Thank you.